Hey, welcome. So, have you ever looked at all the buzz around cryptocurrency and thought, man, I want to get in on that, but where on earth do I even start? If that's you, you're in the right place. We are going to break down one of the most powerful and honestly one of the least stressful strategies to make crypto investing feel way more approachable. Okay, let's just get right to it because this is the big one, right? This is the fear that keeps so many people on the sidelines. You see those wild price charts and you're just paralyzed. You're thinking, what if I put my money in today and tomorrow it crashes? It's a totally valid fear, and we're going to talk about how to deal with it. And you know what? That fear comes from a very, very real place. The first thing we've got to do is just acknowledge the kind of environment we're stepping into. Yeah, this is not your grandparents' stock market. I mean, crypto can skyrocket or plummet in a single day, sometimes in just a few hours. Trying to guess the tops and bottoms, it's a recipe for anxiety, and let's be honest, it's pretty much impossible, even for the pros. This wild ride, this volatility, is the exact problem we need a strategy for. So if we can't predict the roller coaster, how in the world do we invest without losing our minds? Well, it turns out there's a much simpler way, and it's called dollar cost averaging, or DCA for short. Now, here's the key idea, the thing you really gotta get. DCA is not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. You just pick an amount you're comfortable with, say 20 bucks, 50 bucks, and a schedule, like every Friday. And then you just stick to it. Price is up, you buy. Price is down, you still buy. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got market timing. That's a high-stakes bet. It's you throwing all your money in at once and just hoping, praying you pick the absolute perfect moment. But on the right, that's DCA, a calm, methodical approach that spreads your investment and your risk out over time. One is basically a guess. The other is an actual plan. Okay, now let's get into the really cool part. Let's see how this super simple idea of consistency can build into something incredibly powerful. This is where DCA really starts to shine. Remember that crazy roller coaster we talked about? Well, think of DCA as the shock absorber on your ride, because you're buying at all these different prices over time, some high, some low, and a lot in the middle. You end up with an average cost that just smooths out those terrifying peaks and valleys. In fact, DCA actually flips the script and turns volatility into your friend. Think about it. Let's say your set amount is 100 bucks. If a coin costs $100, you get one coin. But if the price drops to $50, that same 100 bucks now gets you two coins. Without even thinking about it, you're automatically buying more when things are on sale. It's genius. And honestly, this might be the biggest benefit of all. It's the psychological win. You're no longer glued to the charts, stressing out, trying to make an impossible guess. You're just letting the calendar do the work. It takes a huge weight off your shoulders. It really helps you fight against your own worst instincts. It stops you from panic selling when the market dips, or from getting greedy and piling in at the top. Instead, it just builds a healthy, disciplined habit. And because you can start with small amounts, it's something literally anyone can do. Now, I want to be totally transparent here. No single strategy is a silver bullet, right? It's not perfect for every single situation. So let's take a quick look at when DCA might not be the absolute best choice. Okay, so if the market just goes straight up in a rocket ship and never, ever dips, which is pretty rare, by the way, then yeah, throwing all your money in at the very beginning would have earned you more. Also, since you're making lots of little purchases, you got to watch out for transaction fees. They can add up. And maybe most importantly, DCA is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes patience. So when is it the perfect tool for the job? Well, it's most powerful in exactly the kind of market we've been talking about, a volatile one. It's absolutely ideal if your goal is long-term growth, not getting rich overnight. And it is, without a doubt, one of the best strategies if you're new to this and just feeling a little uncertain. Okay, so we've covered the why, the how, and the when. Let's wrap this up by getting super practical. Let's actually build out what your very first DCA plan could look like. It really is this simple. First, choose a major crypto with a solid track record. Second, decide on an amount that doesn't mess with your budget. Third, go onto your crypto platform and set up an automatic recurring buy. And fourth, and listen up because this is the hardest part, you have to stick with it. Don't pause the plan just because the market looks scary. That's actually when DCA is doing its best work for you. And just a few final tips to set you up right. Starting with the big names like Bitcoin or Ethereum is usually a smart move. Always, always remember the golden rule of crypto: only invest what you are truly prepared to lose. And do a little shopping around for platforms that have low fees for these kinds of recurring buys. And, maybe once or twice a year, just check in and make sure the plan still makes sense for you.
So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this one thought to chew on. We spend so much energy trying to predict the future, right? But what if the real superpower in investing isn't having a crystal ball, but just having a calendar and a little bit of patience? That's really the heart of dollar cost averaging. I really hope this helps you get started on your journey.